Let's take a quick look at the headlines. West Bengal CM Mamata leads massive TMC protests as film star backs her. Calcutta HC adjourns ED plea in IPAC raid case till Jan 14th. Russia launches hypersonic ballistic missile attack on Ukraine. Oreshnik targets drone production facilities in retaliation to Kyiv's alleged strike on President Putin's residence. Three days after Trump claims Prime Minister Modi requested a meeting with him, now US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says India-USA trade deal did not materialize as Prime Minister Modi did not call President Trump, thereby delaying trade agreement. MEA rejects Lutnick's claims. The Himalayas are facing an unprecedented winter collapse. Parts of North India's mountain belt have recorded the worst snowfall and rainfall deficit in at least a decade, triggering a great Himalayan snow drought. Uttarakhand has recorded a 100% deficit in rainfall and snowfall. Large parts of Himachal Pradesh went through December 2025 with little to no snow. Jammu and Kashmir saw nearly 40% precipitation shortfall, while Ladakh recorded over 70% deficit. Meteorologists say the immediate reason is the prolonged absence of western disturbances. Low pressure system that normally brings winter rain and snow to North India. December typically marks start of sustained Himalayan snowfall, crucial for building snowpacks that feed rivers during spring and summer. This year, western disturbances remain weak, delayed and sporadic, resulting in sharply reduced snowfall. But climate experts warn that this is not one-off event. According to experts, the snowless December reflects a multi-year pattern. They say that rising temperatures are forcing more precipitation to fall as rain instead of snow, while existing snow melts faster. On top of it, change in climate has added to clouds becoming heavier, leading to cloudbursts and flash floods for third year in a row in 2025. A recent study published in journal Scientific Reports confirms this alarming trend. The study finds snow droughts are increasing across Hindu Kush Himalayas. The research finds moderate to severe snow droughts in multiple river basins of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region, including Northwest, Amu Darya, Indus, Mekong, Salween, highlighting frequent occurrences and declining snow cover delay. A snow drought is defined as a severe lack of standing snowpack for a given time of year, making it distinct from rainfall or hydrological droughts. Snow droughts are classified into two distinct types. A dry snow drought happens when winter precipitation collapses, meaning not enough snow falls at all. But there is a second, more dangerous category, the warm snow drought. This occurs when rainfall may be normal, but temperatures are too high, forcing moisture to fall as rain instead of snow, or melting the snow as soon as it hits the ground. The Himalayas are now facing both less snowfall and faster snow loss at the same time. The Hindu Kush Himalayas are lifeline for nearly 2 billion people across 8 countries. Snow from this region feeds major rivers, sustains ecosystems, supports agriculture, ensures drinking water and water security for towns. But data shows that the region is warming faster than the global average. Lakes are forming. Data shows that the snow-covered days are declining by nearly 5 days every decade, meaning mountains are staying white for shorter and shorter periods. At the same time, the snow line is moving upward, pushing snowfall to higher altitudes, leaving lower valleys exposed and dry. And even when snow does fall, it is melting earlier and faster, draining water away before the peak summer demands arrive. Future projections show 30 to 70% loss of snowfall in major river basins. In the upper Indus Basin, up to 41% of the river's flow comes from glacier and snowmelt. In the upper Ganga Basin, the figure is 13%, and in the upper Brahmaputra, it is 16%. That means a significant share of South Asia's water supply is literally flowing from melting Himalayas ice, making glacier retreat and snow drought a direct threat to national security. Studies by Indian Space Research Organization show that 75% of Himalayan glaciers are retreating. Retreating glaciers means increased water flow variability, disruption in agriculture, reduced groundwater recharge, and threaten long-term water sustainability in the world's most densely polluted river basin. In this most densely populated river basin, imagine if this happens. Studies show that by year 2100, snow droughts could become 3 to 4 times more frequent than they were in 1980s. Most of these will be warm snow droughts, making up nearly 2/3 of all events where rising temperature turns snowfall into rain or melts snow too early. Even more alarming, the most damaging type, warm and dry warm snow drought, could increase up to 6 times. What is unfolding in Himalayas is no longer just a story. It is a climate signal, a water security warning, and a civilizational risk for South Asia, where shrinking snow today could mean dry rivers tomorrow. The Himalayan snow crisis is now becoming an economic and food security threat. Wheat yields could fall by 41 to 52% and rise by 32 to 40%. Hydropower irrigation and drinking water will also be hit as river flow and groundwater would decline. With low soil moisture and more dust storms, the crisis will directly affect farms, cities, and livelihoods. On this issue, I am joined by Anand Sharma, President, Indian Meteorological Society and former Additional Director General, IMD. I am joined by Suruchi Vadbal, Director, Earth Sciences and Climate Change, TERI, and Dr. Sushil Kumar, former scientist and former Head of Geophysics, Bhatia Institute of Himalayan Geology, Dehradun. Thank you all of you for joining me. Let me first go to Suruchi Vadbal. Madam, my question to you is, Himalayan drought poses an existential threat to subcontinent. Is there any mitigation, or we should be prepared as a globe lacks global consensus in mitigating the effects of climate change? You know, America walked out of the Solar Alliance, the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change. So please break it down, how it affects everyone in India or subcontinent, the Himalayan drought.
Yeah, I think when we are talking about climate change, it is a global phenomenon that we are talking about, and basically requires global consensus with regards to the action that needs to be taken. So when we talk about mitigating climate change, and with any one country walking out, of course, one of the largest emitters in the world, possibly there is a lack of ambition that we see that the world projects today with regards to taking action in terms of reducing the concentrations of greenhouse gases and the emissions of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. If you look at the current level of commitments that countries have given, which is also not legally bound. So it's a pledge and review kind of a structure that we have under the Paris Agreement. We fall way short with regards to what science has to say to limit ourselves to the 1.5 degree and forget the 1.5 degree, even 2 degrees centigrades by 2100. Therefore, global ambition with regards to taking climate action falls way short of what is required for countries to deliver and achieve by 2030. As a result, we are seeing the impacts of climate change. We are living in a world where climate change is a reality. We are in the midst of the change itself. The normal is itself changing, and therefore we are seeing all kinds of changes in weather patterns that we see in the form of different extremes that are striking different parts of the world. Forget the snow in Himalayas. We are also experiencing fires in Australia. We are also experiencing floods
But
in
madam, in
parts of
context of the Himalayan drought, I would like to keep my conversation specific to it. People
Sure.
people
Sure.
this concept is very, very alien to general public, that there can be a drought in Himalayas. So Dr. Sushil Kumar, my question is, please break it down for our viewers, how it affects everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Because what we are looking this, and we are continuously monitoring. As a earth scientist, I would like to say that what we, from last 3 years it is happening. Where the names we have taken already in Uttarakhand, in Hindu Kush as well, in apart from our Himalayan belt, this is happening. And what basically specifically we are doing for this, every time we are looking that, and the causes, we know that what is going on in India, basically due to western disturbances, as she said that the rainfall is very low, and this temperature is everybody knows that globally increasing, and all these factors we know very well. The question is this: what we are doing for the Himalaya to retreat our snow cover, which is melting and going down, and rainfall as well, and our resources, what storage, what we are doing basically for that. So our question is this: we have to think very carefully that what modern techniques, what is available nowadays. We are looking. We are now in the era of AI, ML, everything. So for this to stop this drought, what can be done? And we have to think this very carefully. RNG is here. He will say more specifically that, because they are monitoring the snow monitoring very carefully with the drone, how they basically taking care of snow, and what is the basically carefully looking the satellite snow mapping to understand this along with NASA, ISRO, and to understand the snow covers, and to stop this this is going on. This is, nobody can challenge the global warming. And snow sensors, actually how much snow is melting, every
Okay,
state
so,
is,
okay. Anand, can you please tell us what is happening in the Himalayas? I mean, so let's just break it down for our viewers. I have tried my best to describe what a snow drought is. Can you just break it down for our viewers, actually what the Himalayas are undergoing because of the larger change?
See, there's no doubt that there is a warming trend, and it is also being said that higher reaches, especially beyond 3,000 meters, are warming at a faster rate, and definitely that will lead to implications like melting of glaciers, early melting of snow, and all these are there. But issue is this, we do not have much data above 3,000 meters. There are hardly very few stations where data is being recorded, and there also I think I was trying to find out recently some of the sensors are not even working, and we don't have long-term data. So again, first and foremost thing is that we should have a good network of automatic weather station and snow measuring stations above 3,000 and 3,500 meters. Then only we will have the real data. Otherwise, most of the data is either through the satellite or through estimation. So first we need the actual data, which is missing. But there is no doubt there is a warming, one. And also, if we see the trend for the last 3-4 years, winters have been very dry. If you see, I think especially last year it was minus 34%. And before that, it was almost minus 90%. So consequently, for the last 3 years, we have got very less rain and snowfall in Himalayas, especially Uttarakhand. And this year also, December has gone almost dry.
Yes.
There are I should say isolated snowfall events in J&K, Ladakh, and Himachal very less, and Uttarakhand again still lower. So definitely there is an issue that it's a long dry spell with very less snowfall, and naturally it has implications. And there is also this saying that, you see, we all know that if there is earlier snowfall, suppose snowfall happens in December, and when I'm saying early, it means when I'm talking about 2005 meters at that altitude. Normally beyond 3,500 meters, even you get snowfall in the month of June, July as well. That's a different thing. What we're talking is mainly around 2,500 meters, like most of our hill stations. So there, if there is early snowfall and then after that there are snowfall on regular intervals, then it accumulates and then it contributes to regular melting and provides water to the rivers. And that's the way it sustains the rivers as well as the groundwater. But when you don't get early snowfall, then whatever snowfall we get in the later months, it tends to melt very fast. So that's the thing. So now up till now, December, we have not got, and then definitely it's a cause of concern. This year, we have got very less western disturbances. Of course, I would say very less. There were western disturbances. Either they were not very effective or they were passive, and at the same time, they were moving very fast. So it has given hardly isolated rain or snowfall events, which is not enough and is much, much below normal. And definitely whenever you have below normal rain and snow, it has implications for agriculture, for especially your temperate fruits and vegetables. And of course, in the plains also it affects. Of course, we are talking just now Himalayas. So whatever the crops we grow.
So if you have consecutive five Himalayan droughts, do they have the capacity to affect the flow of the perennial rivers, sir? Soil moisture?
Definitely, yes, definitely. Naturally, if you do not have snowfall over a long period, so definitely your soil moisture reduces. And again, as you know, for the last, December, you have got hardly anything. But then remember one thing, wherever there is a thick vegetation, moisture still stays. But wherever there is no tree cover or no vegetation cover, there definitely moisture levels are depleted very fast. And then actually if it continues in January, February also, then it has implications for agriculture, for horticulture, and at the same time for the forest fires. Because from, I think, 15 January or 15 February onward, the forest fire season starts. So that one has to be very careful. If the rainfall is much, much below, snowfall is much, much below, then one has to take it as a signal. And then also we should know how the forest fires has progressed in the past few years, especially if suppose for the last 3 years there are not much forest fires, then the chances of a strong forest fire or widespread forest fire increases because lots of material is lying, and then with very low moisture, lot of material, so there are chances of more forest fires.
So basically you're saying that you have a dry winter, you get a hell of a summer in mountains.
Yes, actually once you do not get that, and consequently for 3 months, 4 months, you don't get good rainfall, soil moisture is depleted, temperatures are above normal, and enough material is available, and especially where those heights where you have lots of pine. So those are dry needles, so just waiting for a trigger. It may come through any of somebody smoking cigarette and throwing it there, or somebody doing campfire, not properly, properly it has not been extinguished, then it can lead to fire, and that's how it happens. So it's again, one has to take into account many things.
Okay.
Soil moisture is very important. So that monitoring is not there. Again, soil moisture monitoring should be there. We should have sensors for that. It has implication for forest fires, it has implication for agriculture, it has implication for horticulture. Everything is included.
Okay. Suruchi, how is this Himalayan drought affecting the ecology of Himalayas? I'll subsequently come down how does it affect the plains, but how is it affecting the ecology, flora, fauna of the Himalayas itself, this drought?
So I'd there is an impact that we have studied on the flora and fauna in the Himalayan region already. Of course, the tree line is shifting. The snow line is also shifting. We are seeing many species have an upward movement. We have done some studies as part of India's national communications to look at how different species are getting affected in the Himalayan context. And one of the things basically we've found is with regards to the flowering and the fruiting of different species and the timeliness of it changing with different weather that we are experiencing year after year. There has been an impact on the overall productivity of crops, and overall production rates and the quality of the crops that we see. That
does it have the capacity to, madam, impact even the apple harvest?
Yes, it does. In fact, there are studies which talks about, the impact on apple is so great that it has a great impact on the state economy. 3,500 crores in Himachal Pradesh with the apple crop getting affected in a particular year, and then year after year, every third year being a year of loss to the farmers, also has an impact on the economy and also has an impact with regards to food and, food being available at your and my table. So it impacts everybody, and the cost at which we basically have to, to furnish to be able to afford such food, which is expensive. And therefore, there is a direct impact on all types of crops. So vegetable crops, horticultural crops, food crops that are basically grown, flowers, so floriculture. So all types of crops are impacted in various ways with regards to the incidence of these events that we are talking about and the variability that we see in the climate itself.
Can we say the self-sustained ecology of the Himalaya can collapse because of it, The remote villages which are self-sustained in terms of food cycles, that can collapse?
So ideally, it does lead to questions with regards to food security in terms of food availability. Of course, at the national level, it may play out very differently, but definitely when you go down to the subnational scales and the local levels, it does have an impact with regards to the livelihoods that it supports and those people getting affected, as well as their profits and losses which are attached to this particular sector.
Absolutely. Dr. Sushil Kumar, does it have a direct bearing on the hydroelectric power plants?
Sure, sir. Because everything will be affected. Actually, now question is this, sir. We should now understand that basically what measures we should take in modern technology to reduce the impact of this drought. We should basically because everything, as Dr. Anand already explained, that everything drought, this will affect the hydropowers as well, because because snow will not be there, so water will be reduced in rivers, etc., and all will affect actually. So how basically what we should do, basically we should discuss this thing very carefully, and Dr. Anand knows that how they are improving the monitoring of snow and improving this weather monitoring, because all these techniques, this satellite snow mapping and drones, now they are using drones because of new technology, and for glaciers and snow peak surveys. This will help basically to understand how impacting this, how predict this snowfall.
Okay. Okay, Anand, can you please explain it? This is the question. Can you please explain how does the electric power plants get impacted because of the drought?
See, again, hydroelectric power depends on the water stored in the reservoirs. So naturally, but remember one thing, always, it is reservoirs are capped to the maximum limit from the water which we get through your monsoon. But yes, definitely a large amount of water in the higher altitude comes from snow melt as well. There's no doubt about that. So if there is less water, less snowfall, so less snow melt water, and then naturally the reservoir levels will go down, and that is what happens before the monsoon. If there is no good amount of rain and snow in the winters, and a lot of consumption is there, especially you move towards March, April, May, and then that's the time when the reservoir levels come to the lowest level. Even the lakes where the water is stored that comes down to the lowest level. So it's very, very important that, regular interval rain and snow is definitely plays a major role. If there's less, so definitely your reservoirs won't operate at optimum level because there is less water. So it affects, and the groundwater gets affected. So everything is linked. Whether it's your agriculture, your hydrology, your forest, everything is linked. So there is no doubt about that. And as Sushil was also saying,
can it add as a catalyst to the process of desertification, sir?
No, it's too early to say that. See, again, I'll tell you, as I said, for the last 3-4 years, the snowfall is much, much less. But before that it was much, much higher. So it's not like that. It's cyclical. It's not that for the last 15. Again, when we talk about things, we have to talk on a longer scale. In the past itself, also it happened that there were less snowfall years and people were talking about that there is early flowering. All these things happen when naturally the rainfall snow is less and temperatures are high. So there will be early flowering because phenophases are dependent on temperature. So that too happens. But then again, you see, so it's like this. There are years when you get less snowfall, then you get higher snowfall. But definitely the years when you get less, it's a cause of concern. That's why we should have proper planning, water storage, and water use efficiency has to be increased. Cropping pattern, they are very important. You know, if you see the past, also these kind of events have happened. That means years with low snowfall and rain. But then the crops at that time, the farmers of Himalayan region were all drought resistant, like ragi, your finger millet. These are the kind of crops. Of course, there are many other crops which are drought resistant or which can withstand if there is a long dry spell.
Absolutely.
So we have to talk in those terms. Again, like apple, it's getting affected. But again, we need to also remember that the most of the apple crops which Himachal and Uttarakhand, Himachal especially has and J&K, they're all 50-60 years old plants. They're about to now, almost their peak is over. So their productivity is coming down. And the plus point again is the scientists have come with the new varieties which are called no-chill varieties. That means they do not require chill, that temperatures below zero. So now such varieties you can grow apple in Chandigarh.
That's very. I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it. I really ran short of time, but I've heard about this.
Yeah. So again, that's what our planning should be like. That how to make the ecosystem resilient, how to make the society resilient.
Absolutely,
so but this is very important. And again, there are mitigation. We have to talk about the reducing our carbon footprint. But what is happening is that, in all this, the tourism especially has increased so much. There are almost helicopter operation has improved so much and it's dumping lots of carbon. So whatever snow is already there, that also melts faster. When
absolutely, sir. I've really run short of time, but I think you hit the nail on its head. The tourism is also creating lot of problem in Himalayas. Thank you all of you for joining me. This was all I heard on the first on point. In the second on point, we will discuss how ultra processed foods are creating a public health crisis after a short break.
शिव प्रकाश जी सिर्फ 35 साल की उम्र में हार्ट अटैक से अचानक चले गए। टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के पैसों से उनके माँ बाप को सहारा मिलेगा। पॉलिसी बाजार ने क्लेम के वक्त फैमिली का पूरा साथ दिया। पॉलिसी बाजार पे 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 4